Good morning, my children, and welcome to your English class, the class of the teacher, Jacob. Excellent. Let's start. Now, remember that the work or the activities that we have been doing on these videos are related to all of the vocabulary, all of the objects, all of the colors, all of the animals, all of the fruits that we have seen so far. So this is basically a review, so it's not difficult. I hope it's easy because all of this we have seen it. Ya lo hemos visto, okay? So today's activity, remember that are part of your textbook and they are in these 2 pages. Activity number 1 and activity number 2. So once again, if you want to work in synchrony, in synchronicity with the teacher, you can do it. I'm going to count to 5 so you can have time to grab your textbook and to grab your pencil case, okay? Let's start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now that you have your textbook on these 2 pages and now that you have your pencil case ready, let's begin. The first activity, my children, remember that I put them here on my whiteboard so you can have an idea of how to do the activities. The first one, which is right here, it's about characteristics or differences between people or objects, okay? Now, here we have a person. Now, under the person, we have characteristics. Now, the characteristics about the person, how easy it is if the person is thin, flaco, or if the person is fat. Remember, you have to take a look at the drawings and choose the correct word. For this, remember, the teacher is going to help you. So, the first object, again, what characteristics do we have here? Is it thin or is it a fat person? Is fat. So, the number 1 it says thin, the number 2 it says fat. So, which one is it? Number 2, because also fat begins with the letter F. So, we have letter F. This is the one. We mark it with an X. Let's continue with number 2. For the second object, once again, we have a person, but this person, what are the characteristics? Is it thin, including the face, or is it fat? Thin, including the face, flaquito, delgado, okay? So, number 1, it says thin, number 1, it says fat. Which one is the correct? Number 1 or number 2? Number 2, I'm gonna give you the clue. The word thin, flaco, begins with the letter T. The letter T, so this is the one that we mark. Let's continue with number 3. For the third object, we have a sweater. Now, according to the other drawing, de acuerdo al otro dibujo, which one is big? ¿Cuál es grande? The sweater or the moon? The sweater is the one that is big. So, the first word number 1, it says big. Number 2, it says small. So, which one is it? 1 or 2? Number 1. Number 1 because letter B, begins with the letter B. So, we mark it. Let's continue with the fourth object. Once again, we have a moon. And according to these 2 objects, which one is small? The sweater or the moon? The moon. So, number 1, it says small. Number 2, it says big. Which one is it? The correct? The number 1, small. And small begins with the letter S. Remember, I am telling you the first letter of the word in case that you still have difficulties relating or identifying the words. Les estoy dando una clave, la primera letra de la palabra por si todavía no identifican bien las palabras. Let's continue with the object. For this, we have a table. Now, according to these two objects, between the table and the chair, which one is big? The table or the chair? The table is big, okay? It's bigger, más grande. So, number one, it says small. Number two, it says big. Number two, excellent. Let's continue with the chair. Now, this chair, is it long or short? Remember the difference, long, largo, short, corto. So, once again, the chair, is it long or short? Short. The chair is short. So, short begins with letter S. Once you found the word, mark it with an X. Let's continue with the first person that appears right here, which is a boy. Now, the boy, according also to the face, también observando la cara, the boy, is it short or tall? Tall. The first word, number one, it says short. Number two, it says tall. Number two, tall, begins with the letter T. We mark it with an X. Let's continue with the girl. Now, for the girl, we have tall or short. Also, putting attention to the face, okay? También observando la característica del rostro. Once again, tall or short. Short, okay? The number one, it says tall. Number two, short. So number one or number two? Number two. Very good, excellent. You are doing an excellent job. Let's continue with these two final objects. The first one is, what is the shape and form of the plate? De un plato, ¿cuál es su forma? Is it a circle or a square? A circle, okay? So, number one, it says square. Number two, it says circle. So, which one of these two is the correct? Number two, circle. And the word circle begins with the letter C. We mark it. And finally, the last object, we have a cup. Remember the cup, it's like a glass. We use it to drink some liquid, okay? It could be a milk, water, soda, or coffee. Now, the number one, it says plate. The number two, it says cup. Which one of the two is correct? Number two, cup. And the word cup begins with the letter C. So we put an X on it. Now, once we have finished solving this exercise, if you want to paint all of the objects with your favorite colors, like the way I did it, you can do it. There is no problem, okay? Very good. Now, let's continue with the second exercise, the second activity. For this activity, my children, as you can see here, we have words that are incomplete. They are missing letters, hacen falta letras, okay? They are missing letters, and on the right side, del lado derecho, we have the complete words, but in cursive letter. Remember, in the classes of the teacher Jacob, we are going to continue working with cursive letters, but it's not that necessary, okay? The most important is normal letters, okay? Because the teacher doesn't like cursive letters, but again, it's very important that you see how they are written, cómo están escritas, so you know the difference between cursive and normal letter, okay? Very good. So, paying attention to the cursive letters that have the complete word, we have to complete the missing word using the missing letters, okay? So let's start. Now, here we have letter T, letter H, and we have two blank spaces. This means that we have two missing letters. Also, something that I forgot to mention for this activity, The correct letter is next to, se encuentra al lado. So we don't have to join normal letter with the cursive letter, no tenemos que unir nada. The correct form is only next to, la palabra completa se encuentra al lado. Okay, so we don't have to look for it, it's only next to, se encuentra al lado. So, according to the cursive letter, the complete form of the word is thin. Now remember, thin is when we refer to a person. Okay, flaco.